When planning a vacation to Europe, some of the first destinations that come to mind will be the teeming cities of Paris, London, or Rome. Each of these metropolises is incredible, but they are far from all that Europe has to offer. By exploring some of the smaller towns across the continent, it is possible to see a more authentic, traditional side to Europe. If you're planning an upcoming getaway to the continent, here are just a few of the most beautiful small towns in Europe. Number 25. Castelluccio. Located atop a steep hill 5,000 feet above sea level, Castelluccio is the highest village in the Apennine mountain range and arguably the most beautiful. The village is known for growing fabulous lentils in the cultivated fields surrounding it. Mother Nature is at her finest here from May through July, when the fields bloom with brightly colored flowers, including poppies and violets. Sadly, a 2016 earthquake rendered the village virtually uninhabitable, but some remaining residents have reopened shops and restaurants that visitors can pop into. Number 24. Montserrat. Boasting an imposing castle as well as a stunning setting, the hilltop village of Montserrat is certainly very picturesque. Whitewashed houses contrast delightfully against the greens and browns of the surrounding countryside. As it is located just across from the Spanish border in Portugal, Montserrat has long occupied a strategic position. As such, everyone from the Romans and Visigoths to the Moors and Knights Templar have ruled over the town at some stage. Number 23. Dinant. Dinant is located on the banks of the River Meuse in the French-speaking region of Wallonia in Belgium. Its main attraction is the striking citadel of Dinant, which was constructed in the 19th century on the cliffs overlooking the river. It provides sweeping views of the landscape below. To reach the citadel, you need to climb several hundred steps carved into the cliffs or take a cable car. Once you're there, take the time to view the attached museum, which boasts medieval arms as well as interesting art from the region. Number 22. Trogir. One of the best preserved medieval towns in Europe, Trogir stands proudly on the Adriatic coast in southern Croatia. Walls from the 15th century encircle Trogir, and within them you can stroll through narrow winding streets, see the beautiful Venetian-style cathedral, and admire the 15th century town hall. Closer to the coast, kick back on beautiful beaches or dine overlooking the clear blue water. Make sure to visit the waterfront fortress, where you can walk on the walls and take in truly spectacular views over the city as well as the coast. Number 21. Lauterbrunnen. Waterfalls abound in Lauterbrunnen. This picturesque valley is home to 72 falls that cascade down the mountains. The most famous of these is Staubuck's Falls, which drops nearly 1,000 feet, making it one of Europe's highest waterfalls. The town itself is a jumping-off place for excursions into the nearby region. Framed by sheer cliffs and sparkling falls, the valley is a nature lover's dream, with lots of hiking trails, mountain bike paths, and rock climbing routes to explore. Its outstanding beauty and spectacular scenery make Lauterbrunnen Valley one of the most memorable places to visit in Switzerland. Number 20. Albarracin. Named after a Moorish leader, Albarracin is a picture-perfect town in east-central Spain. Between the 12th and 14th centuries, Albarracin was a thriving town bordering the three former kingdoms of Castilla, Aragon, and Valencia. Today, most of that early architecture remains, including the cathedral and much of the city's walls. Development seems not to have arrived at this town, which is very rural and situated in the mountains. The pink buildings of the city are built right into the natural landscape in a canyon, and many tourists come here to wander the maze of cobbled streets and rose-colored buildings. Number 19. Gordes. From its strategic position on a plateau overlooking the Luberon, Gordes is considered one of the prettiest villages in France. It's hard to argue with that, since picturesque gray and white stone buildings line the hill to the top. At the top, you'll find a church and a castle. Be sure to check out the bones of little round stone huts that were used by shepherds in ancient times. Another must-see is the abbey, where monks make liqueurs and lavender essence. Number 18. Mostar. Mostar in Bosnia and Herzegovina is famous for its old bridge over the Neretva River. In fact, the name Mostar derives from Mostari, meaning bridge keeper. The bridge was built in 1556 under the orders of the occupying Ottomans, but was destroyed 427 years later in 1993 by Croat forces during the Balkan Wars. Though it's easily reachable on a day trip from neighboring Croatia, to get the most out of your visit to Mostar, the best thing to do is stay overnight. The crowds of day trippers trickle away, and the restaurants high above the river along cobbled streets light up. Number 17. Portree. Off the coast of mainland Scotland is an island chain called the Inner Hebrides, and one of these islands is known as Skye. The capital of Skye is Portree, a remote but beautiful spot overlooking the Loch Portree itself. Getting there is half the fun, particularly if you opt for an arrival by ferry. Portree is also known for its brightly colored houses that stand in a row just steps from Shingle Beach and the calm waters of the harbor. Number 16. Mossusloch. On the island of Malta is a small but scenic village called Mossusloch. This traditional fishing village on the southeast side of the island has an ancient history. Since the Phoenicians landed here in the 9th century BC, Mossusloch has been a popular landing spot. The Romans and Arabs both anchored in the bay during their reign, as did the Ottoman fleet during the siege of 1565. Today, it is a mecca for those who love blue waters and fresh seafood and boating. Aside from its photogenic harbor lined with colorful fishing boats, it's most famous for several military outposts from World War II. Number 15. Visby. A delightful medieval city, Visby is the capital of Gotland and is one of the most spectacular towns in Sweden. Its web of ancient cobbled streets and alleys is mesmerizing to wander around. Picturesque cottages, beautiful ruins of Gothic churches, and the amazing walls surrounding the old town make it an enchanting and picture-perfect city. The stunning St. Maria Cathedral is beautiful to behold, and there are lots of bars and restaurants to stop by. Once a year, Visby hosts a fun and festive medieval week where the city is awash with medieval costumes and events. Number 14. Bibury. In central England, a region called the Cotswolds is filled with a hilly landscape, wide open spaces, and ample greenery. In the center of the Cotswolds is a small village called Bibury, where it looks like time stood still. The most iconic attraction in town is the line of Arlington Row cottages, where thatched roofs are still the preferred choice among the local homeowners. Famed American entrepreneur Henry Ford thought Bibury's charm and row houses were the best part of England, and there is every chance that you'll agree with his assessment. Number 13. Giethoorn. The city of Giethoorn is one of the oldest in the Netherlands, and its history dates back to the flagellants from the 13th century. Canals built for irrigation and agriculture are everywhere in Giethoorn, giving many of the homes and restaurants waterfront views. Lush greenery, manicured lawns, and traditional architecture only increase the beauty of the town. Make the most of your time in Giethoorn by taking a canal boat tour and snapping photos of the many stunning bridges that span the water. Number 12. Český Krumlov. In the South Bohemia region of the Czech Republic lies Český Krumlov. This city is a supremely picturesque place to visit. Think orange-tiled rooftops and the pretty riverside of the Vltava River, all flanked by green, rolling hills. Made up of Renaissance and Baroque architecture, the town is overlooked by an impressive 13th century castle. It's a town that should not be missed because of its sheer charm and beauty. Come in summer and stay till the sun goes down to watch the energetic city come alive with bars and restaurants. Number 11. Sighisoara. As one of the best preserved medieval towns in all of Romania, Sighisoara is a must-see destination to add to your itinerary. This historic city was built in the 12th century and is most notably known as the birthplace of Vlad the Impaler, who was the inspiration for Dracula. As you walk the winding streets through the old city, you'll see charming city squares and brightly painted houses. Don't forget to visit the clock tower, which sits in the heart of the village. By spending a few hours in this picturesque town, you'll start to truly soak in the history and culture of the Transylvanian Saxons. Number 10. Bled. Slovenia may not be the first European country you think of for natural beauty, but it is an underrated destination with some of the most remarkable scenery on the continent. One example is Bled, a small town on the shores of Lake Bled. The Julian Alps serve as the backdrop for the town, and in the center of the lake itself is a small island topped with a charming white church. Bled truly looks like it has come straight from a romantic fairy tale, and it has to be seen to be believed. Number 9. Cadaqués. Nestled into Spain's Costa Brava near the French border is the beachfront town of Cadaqués. This town is perhaps best known for being the home of painter Salvador Dali, and art fans can still visit Dali's house, which is now transformed into a museum. The tiled walkways of Cadaqués lead you between charming seafood restaurants and local boutiques. But the main draw to the town is the gorgeous beach and the blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea. Number 8. Zermatt. Zermatt is a small town that is famous for skiing and mountaineering due to its proximity to the Matterhorn, one of Switzerland's highest mountains. Cable cars whisk skiers up surrounding mountains in the winter and hikers in the summer. Zermatt is a good town for walking to various sites since gasoline-driven vehicles are not permitted. Any vehicles within the city limits must be battery-operated. Fortunately, for visitors, it takes 30 minutes or less to walk between sites. The town is accessible via scenic train routes that connect it with the outside world. Number 7. Rothenburg. The walled city of Rothenburg sits on a plateau overlooking the Tauber River in Bavaria. Straight from the pages of a fairy tale, the town is famous for its extremely well-preserved medieval center. Be sure to visit the town hall, the seat of city government since medieval times. Climb the steps of the 13th century hall's tower for stunning views of the city. Rothenburg is also famous for the stores that carry Christmas items all year round and for having an outstanding Christmas market each December. Number 6. Egisheim. Egisheim is the stuff that our preconceived notions of what Europe should be like are made of. Narrow cobblestone streets and colorful buildings with charmingly decorated entrances. Located not too far from the German border, Egisheim was voted France's favorite village in 2013. The medieval village is uniquely wrapped in circles around the local castle. It's famous for its wines, with the Alsace wine route passing through it. This is a quaint, picturesque spot to linger at a charming cafe with a glass or two of the local wine. Number 5. Perast. Montenegro's coastal resorts are beautiful, but they can be crowded and filled with high-rise hotels and shopping malls. In contrast is Perast, a small village in Boca Bay with just a few hundred residents. Two of the city's picturesque chapels are situated on tiny islets, Our Lady of the Rocks and St. George. Back on shore, the Church of St. Nicola is worth a visit for the pleasant views that a climb up the belfry offers of the town and bay. While there's no beach in this bayfront city, the stone jetties along the waterfront are popular places for sunbathing and relaxing. Number 4. Hallstatt. Often called the Pearl of Austria, Hallstatt looks every bit the fairy tale town due to its spectacular setting and outstanding natural beauty. Perched between majestic mountains and a looking-glass lake, the picturesque pastel-colored town tumbles down to the reflective waters below. Widely considered the oldest still-inhabited settlement in Europe, it has long been known for its salt deposits. Various caves and mines can be visited from the town. Although usually quite crowded, ambling around scenic streets and atmospheric alleys before emerging at Hallstatt's divine waterfront with its sensational views is a magical experience. Number 3. Mykonos Town. Whitewashed houses with domes painted in eye-popping blue, ancient wooden doors, old stone lanes, and vines of purple flowers, Mykonos Town is a picture of Cycladic architecture. It's easy to walk around the center of the island's capital on foot, as much of it is closed to traffic. The town has grown cosmopolitan in culture. The beach is scattered with eateries and deck chairs, whilst designer boutiques, art galleries, and souvenir shops sell their goods to tourists venturing into firm land from the visiting cruise ships. Number 2. Rhina. In the northernmost part of Norway are the Lofoten Islands, arguably the most scenic part of the country. There are no major metropolises here, but you will find the small village of Rhina. Not only is Rhina a prime spot for admiring wildlife in their natural habitats or getting a glimpse of the northern lights, it is also breathtakingly beautiful. From Rhina, you'll see clear blue water, lush green landscapes, and striking peaks that rise from the water. The homes are nearly all traditional and painted the same bright red shade. Number 1. Positano. Dramatic and more than a little dashing, Positano is the Amalfi Coast's most famous town, with houses tumbling down to the sea in a cascade of sun-bleached peach, pink, and terracotta. No less photo-worthy are its steep streets and steps, flanked by wisteria-draped hotels, smart restaurants, and pretty churches. The small town was once a mighty power of the seas, but nowadays is a pleasant resort where visitors can spend their time browsing the chic boutiques and dining out in the many seafood restaurants around the Grand Beach.